I'd like to call the
I'd like to call the special meeting of the board on June 6th. Call it to order at 6:31 or 2, whatever it is over there. Can I please have roll call? Oh, no, not roll call, I'm sorry. Call to order. Could you all please rise for the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Here.
Trustee Holston?
Present.
Trustee Horn?
Here.
Trustee Racy?
Present.
And Trustee Benson.
Here.
Okay, I thought I'd have our usual open to the public before we get started. Any comments about our agenda? Okay, I see no one moving, so let me just go with D, a review of an ordinance approving an annexation agreement with Aunt Martha Corporation.
Mayor. Thank you, board, for coming in. I'll try to summarize each of these ordinances and the rationale behind it. If the board recalls, back in March, I believe, we were annexing two parcels. One was Aunt Martha's, which is 3 acres, and one was Orchard 2251 LLC, which is roughly 60 acres, I believe, over by I-57. The annexation agreement with Aunt Martha's was not signed by them, meaning the petitioner, but we did buy the property. So that property is, we purchased it roughly, I think, about a week ago. So with respect to that ordinance, I think that's a moot issue because there is no agreement. The village owns that property now. But it's still on the record showing ordinance number, they're out of sequence, but it's supposed to be 1788. But for the record, the village is now the owner of that property. Aunt Martha's sold it to us, obviously. They did not sign an annexation agreement, but since the village owns it, I don't believe there's any action necessary on that because it is already purchased by the village. You want to move to the next one?
Larry, just continue.
Thank you.
You can
Yes,
just
sir.
continue, Larry, go.
David.
Does that make that ordinance mute if it's not signed?
Well, the ordinance was signed, no, strike that. The ordinance was signed, but the agreement was not. The agreement by Aunt Martha's, they never signed off on it. So the ordinance authorized the mayor, I believe, to execute the agreement, which I believe he did, but Aunt Martha's never signed it. So it's on the record, but again, since they didn't sign it, and if we own the property now, my intention is just to file the plat of annexation, showing that we're the owners.
Okay, thank you.
The next ordinance, Your Honor, is an indication ordinance annexing certain property to the village of Monee. This is supposed to be ordinance number 1787. This is a property I just referred to. This is the Aunt Martha's property on Industrial Drive, also Brunge Road. It's 3 acres in size. We purchased it about 10 days ago. When we annex property, though, when you file the ordinance, you need a plat of annexation signed by the mayor. Therefore, this ordinance, if approved by the board, would authorize Mayor Pop to execute the ordinance and the plat on behalf of the village of Monee.
Are there any questions on it?
Need a motion?
If
Yes.
No questions?
I'd like to have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racy?
Yes.
Trustee Benson?
Yes.
And Trustee Blue.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. With respect to paragraph F, the ordinance annexing agreement with Orchard 2251 LLC, if the board recalls, our initial agreement was back in March, once again, our version of the agreement. I believe there are subsequent negotiations with the owner, which one of the owners is here tonight. If the board recalls, we approved it at the last board meeting. wherein we would not give them more than 80% of the TIF, no less than 60% of the revenue from the TIF. Strictly real estate only. The board approved this the last meeting, but I don't believe, I would like to have it verified tonight because the plat's got to be signed by the village too, and this would give the Mayor Pop the authority to sign the annexation agreement and the plat. So if we have a motion to approve said ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, go ahead, Denisha.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racy?
Yes.
Trustee Vincent?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. The next item, in conjunction with the annexation agreement.
Excuse me,
I'm
I
sorry.
need a number of it.
No, I believe.
They all have numbers
Yes, sir.
already.
Yes, sir.
So we won't need any numbers on any of these ordinances, okay?
The next ordinance, Your Honor, for review is the ordinance in conjunction with the annexation agreement with Orchard 2251 LLC, is authorizing Mayor Pop to execute the ordinance and also the plat. Again, when you file annexations, the plat of annexation is probably the most important because the county works off the plat. That plat's been prepared by Jeff from Tyson, ready for the mayor's signature. Need a motion authorizing the execution of the same.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any other discussion? If not, please call the roll.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racy?
Yes.
Trustee Vincent?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
And for the record, I'll work with the village clerk with respect to the numbering, but it's got to be in the right sequence. But as long as the motions are passed and adopted, that's the most important thing because there is a filing deadline coming up quickly, which was out of our control because of the purchase of Aunt Martha's and a few other issues, but that's been resolved. The next ordinance, if the board recalls, we approved this on March 13th. Again, removing certain parcels from TIF 3 and TIF 4 to develop TIF number 5. I believe the board hopefully recalls some of this, but it was approved on March 13th. The ordinance was approved and adopted. That's ordinance number 1790. It appears as though that ordinance has not been executed. So I'm asking approval of that ordinance, once again authorizing Mayor Pop to execute the same on behalf of Village of Monee.
Make that motion.
I'll second
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on that?
Yeah, just to clarify, there are no changes in the ordinance. We're just giving you authorization to sign.
Exactly. All these ordinances have already been discussed and passed. We just need my signature. You're authorizing me to sign the ordinances.
Thank you.
Trustee Racy?
Yes.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Vincent?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
And Trustee Horn?
Yes. Thank you, Mayor. Subsection I, this creates TIF number, these next three ordinances create TIF number 5. Once again, not to repeat myself, but I will, back on March 13th, I believe we adopted these ordinances to create TIF number 5. If the board recalls, there's some issue with respect to one parcel that was inadvertently omitted from that site, but we did adopt these ordinances in sequence, and what we need is a motion authorizing the mayor to execute the same on behalf of the Village of Monee. Subsequent to that, I will file with the county. There is a time frame involved again, but we do need authorization for Mayor Pop to execute this ordinance.
So we need a motion and a second on that.
I'll make the motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Blue?
Yes.
Trustee Gray?
Yes.
Trustee Holston?
Yes.
Trustee Horn?
Yes.
Trustee Racy?
Yes.
And Trustee Vincent?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. Subsection J, same scenario. When you create a TIF, there's 3 separate ordinances. The next ordinance is the ordinance designating the redevelopment project area number 5, which I believe we discussed on previous occasions. Again, the board approved this ordinance on March 13th, but we need a motion authorizing Mayor Pop to sign the same.
We're looking for a motion and a second.
I'll make that motion.
Anthony?
I can second.
Roll call?
Trustee Holsen,
Yes.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Racick,
Yes.
trustee Vincent,
Yes.
trustee Blue,
Yes.
and trustee Gray.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor. And the last item is the ordinance adopting tax increment financing for Monee redevelopment project area number 5. We passed this on March 13th. We need a motion authorizing Mayor Pop to execute this ordinance on behalf of the village of Monee.
So moved. Second.
Any further discussion on that? Roll call, please.
Trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Racick,
Yes.
trustee Vincent,
Yes.
trustee Blue,
Yes.
trustee Gray,
Yes.
and trustee Holsen.
Yes.
Before you go to the next thing, Larry, we are on Tesco Associates now, right?
Yes,
But I just want to make a comment to the public that this was very important for us to get this completed due to circumstances. We had to call this special meeting to get this done. It did involve many parties that are expecting this to be done. So, end of discussion on that, okay, and comment. Thank you. Larry?
Thank you, Mayor. The next item for the board's review and consideration, I believe in the packet there is a proposal from Tesca and Associates directed to Mayor Pop on June 5th. Basically, if the board recalls, there was one parcel that was excluded from tip number 5. It was our intent to include it. It's a very large, important parcel. There's 2 ways of addressing this issue. As Mr. Iosa indicated, you can create a new TIF just for this one parcel, and I believe it's roughly 60 acres, or you can amend TIF number 5. I believe Mr. Iosa is recommending a new TIF, just for this parcel and this parcel only. Same process, if the board recalls, the joint review board meets, they make a recommendation, it comes back before the board, you have a couple public hearings, just like we did in the park building back in February, I believe. But this is a very important parcel. I believe Mr. Rose is here tonight in case there's any questions, but it appears though they might have some development that might take place, but the TIF's got to be in place. And the TIF would be, ideally, it could be done hopefully by, according to Pete, maybe early October. And then you have TIF number, I guess it'd be TIF number 6. There's only one parcel, and one owner is here tonight. So you have a proposal from Tesca. I believe the fees are, I believe he said, not to exceed $12,000, which is a TIF eligible expense. A lot of work involved, but it's up tonight, and I believe I talked to Mr. Burke and Mr. Rose that the board will take it into consideration tonight to show our intent to expedite the matter and move as fast as we possibly can.
Comment?
Yes, sir.
I was involved in this as well, and this was just an oversight. These people are working with us in other areas. We just annexed property tonight, or this week, that is also going to help Monee grow in the industrial park. For whatever reason, this was missed. It's just a little north of Ridgeland on the east side. And I mean, I went back to the original study that was done back in September by Tesca. It was just missed. I don't know how we missed it. So it's probably economically better just to do it this way by adding the TIF, and it's also going to be quicker for us to do it that way. So I definitely, as a member of the Economic Development Committee, recommend it. And I like the motion.
We have a second?
I'll second.
I have a question. Do we have any numbers as to what the difference is to amend TIF 5 versus a new TIF?
I'd like to answer that if I may, Jen. To amend TIF 5, may I say, would really upset some people in TIF 5, because it would not allow them to proceed with things that they normally would. If we try to amend TIF 5, it would take 2 to 4 months, possibly, at least that much. creating the new TIF allows us to expedite that TIF quicker so that the people that are interested in using that property may be willing to wait for a shorter amount of time. We hope for that. We're looking for economic development, as David said, Mr. Holston, I should say, Trustee Holston. And this is the reason that we don't want to interfere with TIF 5. Any other discussion?
How many acres are in this
Was it
property?
60 or 80?
I believe 60.
Yeah, 60 acres, I believe.
If I'm recalling this property, there's some vacant farm buildings on this property? No, it's empty. It's empty? Okay.
Any other discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we already, did we do that? Yeah. Roll call, please.
Trustee Racy,
Yes.
trustee Blue,
Yes.
trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Holston,
Yes.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
trustee Vincent.
Yes.
There is no further business. Does any of the public have any comments they wish to make?
North Snow, Gulf Vista. We got two 60-acre parcels here. Where is Orchard 2251? Where is that 60 acres?
It's basically Ridgeland North, Ridgeland and like trustee Holston said, east of Monee, Manhattan and Ridgeland Road.
Is that the same as Tesca? Is that the same?
That's what
60?
Tesca's
That's the
analyzing.
same 60?
This is written.
Yeah. So it's the same 60 acres, that's what I wondered about with it too.
Orchard 2251 is a 90-acre parcel at the northwest corner of Monee, Manhattan and Ridgeland.
That's the one we've seen.
Right. The property that needs to be made whole again, which was inadvertently missed, is a 60-acre parcel which is on the east side of Ridgeland.
So it's two different?
Yeah.
Two different, okay.
This is the one, and that was already included in the TIF. This one was already granted from the property, but wasn't included in the TIF.
How much would it take for 3 acres? Martha?
$200,000. We have an appraisal.
Just check. Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else open to the public? Well, with no further business, I would make a motion, have someone make a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Vincent, trustee Blue,
Yes.
trustee Gray,
Yes.
trustee Holston,
Yes.
trustee Horn,
Yes.
and trustee Racy.
Yes.
Thank you very much, trustees, I appreciate it.